Hi everyone, today's April 14th, 2018, and this is the Duel Assessment, your podcast for Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links. My name is Green Ranger.
And I'm DeckTech.
And the moment we've been waiting for a little bit, Stage 2 of the Kaiba Cup has finally began late this week. Probably like at the end of Thursday, beginning of Friday. So it's been out like a day and a few hours. But we haven't been doing too well or have not participated much in it. And there hasn't been a ton going on in the game. There's like a little things going on here and there. We got more gems, but yeah, we're going to try to get somewhere in the next few days. DeckTech, where are you there?
Yeah, so I was the one who hasn't played at all in Stage 2. Just to catch everyone up from last time, I streamed most of my Stage 1 climb. I started at 10, as we mentioned. Then I went from 10, I think, till 18 on my stream. And I streamed for like 3 hours. So that was like a 3-hour thing to get there. And then it took me, I fairly quickly after that got to 19, and then from 19 to 20 took me forever. It felt like it took as long or maybe even longer than just that first bunch. So that was interesting. I did it with Sea Stealth Attack, and that's kind of where I've been because, like I said, I haven't played literally any Stage 2 yet. So that's kind of all I have.
Yeah. Just wanted to tell her, like, Doug Diamond Duel, who is Yugi Deck Talks, he said, I think he tweeted, it was one of the hardest Kaiba Cups ever, and I feel like we both got a sense of that. It's kind of like what cards are in the meta right now. It makes it like that.
Yeah, just that last stage, that last stage or level, was just... That was when Geargias kind of took off, and that deck seems pretty solid, and was just kind of giving me issues. So I don't even feel great about it now, about that matchup or anything. But yeah. I just kind of, it was good enough. I got through, won a couple in a row, and did what I had to do to get through. But it definitely was a bit tough.
Yeah, me. I got to 20 again, but last week I started at 18, if you recall, with aliens, and I think I switched back to flying fish for 19, and then I couldn't get anywhere to 20. So I was looking at what cards I had, and I guess I had enough Paleozoics to play it, and that's what I decided to do, because I'm not sure if I saw a King of Games deck with it or something. I saw something, like, I think there was a post on Reddit, actually, where they said this was a DL Max deck. And when you're talking about Paleozoics, they're all pretty cheap except for one, the Paleozoic Canadia. And I already had one, and the deck only had one. So I realized I had enough cards to build that deck. And with very little effort, I got to 20 with Paleozoics. I think it was especially strong against Sylvans, and Geargias did not exactly take off at that point yet, because I think they came from the tournament, right? The Duel Links Meta tournament, and
probably, yeah.
I probably caught it. I probably got it before people started reading what decks were on Duel Links Meta. So I kind of dodged the Geargias, and Paleozoics, they did work. They did pretty good. But then I was opening cards, and I had enough Geargias, so I decided to take that into Stage 2. Right now, I have 0 DP, and this is a 40% win rate, which is like 25 games, I think. And I was on a roll, though. I had 7,000 at one point. Yesterday, at some point, I had 7,000. I went out, I came back, and then I lost like all my games. So I'm a very streaky player.
When you say went out, do you mean you went out drinking?
No, it was during the day, and there's no alcohol involved. Only okay. Vietnamese sandwiches.
Well, Vietnamese sandwiches are known to impair people's judgment as well. So
yeah, I think I'm kind of superstitious about the time of day when you play, so I might try to play in the morning again, like after we record this. I don't know. Um, and also, I bought, as I mentioned, I bought a lot of the Valiant Souls set, and I kind of paused because when you don't spend a lot of money on the game, you have to be careful about what you buy, and I don't know if it's worth going through all these packs to get that hardened armed dragon. Like I don't know if I care too much about that card, rather than resetting and getting another masked hero. So right now I'm pausing, saving up a little. I have like 1,000 gems, so yeah, I'm thinking about my next move. I did buy some of the sale though, which we'll talk about, but besides that, I haven't gone deep into the set yet.
Nice. Yeah, I actually bought a little bit of, well, I used up all of my gems that I had saved up. I got like 5,000 from doing the various stuff that was going on during the week, mostly Kaiba Cup gems. And I spent it all on the water set again to kind of beef up that deck a little bit. And I ended up getting another Ties of the Brethren, so that means I have 2 now, which is a nice start to Geargias. And I did it specifically so that I could get myself another copy of Abyss Soldier. So now I have 2 of those for my water deck, and that was a nice little addition. I think it probably helped.
I think from the sale I got 3 of a card. Like it wound up me getting 3 of a UR.
Womp womp.
Yeah. Oh well.
I mean, well, I guess it could be good. Is it one you wanted?
It was Gishki Chain. It's not useless, but like I don't really play Sea Stealth. Like I would have wanted the other cards, but it's not the worst card. So
no, yeah, it's pretty solid.
Like I got it guaranteed, and then I got it out of my 3 packs. So I have 3 now. So.
Yeah, I don't know if I've really seen any deck that runs 3 of them, but it's a solid card.
Maybe I could play Cyber Angels now because I don't have too many Senjus and Sonic Birds.
Yeah. All right, well, do you want to get into our little bit of esports here?
Yep, so we have one tournament to talk about today, and that's the MCS 7 Duel Links Meta. This happened last week, actually, last Saturday. Once we finished recording, we found that it was going on, so it was pretty cool. MCS 7. So this was the tournament where the new meta kind of showed up. Geargias and Masked Heroes were the most represented in the top 32 with 10 each. Sylvans had 6. And then you saw some of the old decks. Aliens with 2, Archfiends with 2, Magnets with 1, Red Eye Zombie with 1. First place, Jason. This is a Restart Masked Heroes deck. And it's a 21 card deck. So you've got some of the Destiny heroes. You got 2 Deciders, 3 Celestials, and 1 Dreamer. Vision Hero Vion, 3 of those for polymerization. 2 Malicious, Malicious seems to be showing up just for these Masked Hero decks. And then you've got your Mass Changes, 3 of those, 2 Cyclones, 2 Chalices, 1 Destiny Draw, and 1 Econ. And 3 Masked Hero Ankies, which is the core of the deck and what makes the archetype work.
Yeah. And Anki can, get the next Anki, which is why you need multiples of them.
Yeah, you need at least 2 to play that deck, I think.
Yeah. So, because its second effect is, when this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle and sends it to the graveyard, you can add 1 change quick play spell card from your deck to your hand. And you can only use that once per turn. So that's why you could do it with just 2, because once per turn, to get the second one out. But it's just, it's really solid that when you can kind of chain them, so you can clean up the board and also leave yourself with the big guy and, attacking directly if necessary and whatnot.
Yep. And you mentioned he plays Acid Rain to counter Geargias. That's kind of the thing that happened with the first machine deck, I think, Ancient Gears. We're seeing some specific techs against machines now.
Yeah, interesting choices. Other things of note, I guess, are he runs 2 Cosmic Cyclone and 2 Forbidden Chalice in the main deck. And then otherwise, the rest of it seems all pretty standard one econ just kind of looks weird because we usually see it in like sets of 2 or 3, but I think it's all pretty standard.
Yeah. Second place, Shiny Sophion. Restart, Geargia. So typically you got 2 skills with Geargias. It's balance or restart. I never tried restart, but I guess she did. This has... Oh, there's some birds in your background.
It's a lovely morning.
The Geargias have a core, though. Like, you see all the competitive decks, and they all have the same monsters, typically. And it's 2 attackers, 3 anchors, and 2... Wait, is this right? No, this is unconventional. Typically, you have 2 attackers, 3 anchors, and 3 arsenals. But this one has 1 less arsenal. 3 Ties of the Brethren, and that's kind of the best card in this deck, I think. If you've played Geargias, you know you kind of win right away with that card. We'll talk about it more later. 2 Econs, 2 Powerful Rebirth, 3 Pulse Mines, 2 Desert Sunlights, and 1 Curse of Anubis.
Right. Yeah, so we're kind of seeing 2 main versions, at least I'm seeing. Well, I guess there's kind of 2 different decision trees that might end up resulting in 4 main versions, but I don't know if that's actually true. One is whether or not you run Ties of the Brethren, and then the other is what skill you use. So this is obviously running the Ties of the Brethren and Restart.
Yep. And this looks like a balanced deck, though. Like, the ratios seem like it could work for balance.
Yeah, it'd be close. You'd guarantee 1 monster, you'd guarantee 1 trap, and you'd have a pretty good shot at one of your spells.
Yeah. I guess I'm trying to think about some of the problems I had playing the deck. I mean, I played balance too, but my math might have been off. I think I was 8-5-8. I'm not sure if that adds up, but no, 8-5-7. I think that was my ratio, and I had problems drawing monsters. That's one of my main concerns of the deck. And also needle sealing. She has needle sealing in the sideboard as well as different dimension ground, which is Sylvans and needle sealing. That counters a bunch of things. Sylvans and, well, less so Sylvans, but it counters Geargias, I think.
Yeah, it's an interesting card. I wasn't sure what it was specifically trying to counter, but I could see how it works pretty well with the deck because you can control when yours are face up and face down.
Right.
So you can make it so that there's 4 or more monsters on the field fairly easily, especially with Ties of Brethren. You already have 3, so if they play anything, you're not going to play it just to kill your guys. So if they play anything, then you can use it to kill their stuff, and your guys could be, and probably would be since you'd be setting it up, all face down, so it wouldn't kill yours either. So I like it in the deck. It's an interesting card that I don't think I've ever seen anyone playing before, but it seems to work well with that archetype.
Yep. Third place, Nice Guy 88. Tie that binds Sylvans. Yeah, it's pretty much the standard Sylvan build. You have 3 Ultimate Providence and 1 Econ as the back row, though.
Well, yeah, and they're running Tie That Binds.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen everyone run it. I've seen every character play it on the ladder, and I have seen Tie That Binds, but it's a lot less common because it's not Restart.
Oh,
yeah, it's not Restart, but yeah, I've seen it. Yeah.
I was just like, that's weird, but okay.
It's like when you face it so many times, you just see a variation now and then, and yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's true. You've played a lot more games than I have.
There's a beatdown version too. It's not uncommon. Yeah.
I mean, beatdown makes some sense, I guess. Tie That Binds. It just seems like it's not a deck that super floods the board, or I don't know. It seemed a little weird.
It does. With the Carrot and the Rose Lover, they kind of set it up sometimes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Rose Lover gives you extras. And all right, okay.
I think they do it to trick you, though. Like, if they're playing, like, Jesse Anderson or something, and they just use it all of a sudden to go, oh, yeah, you got Tie That Binds.
One other interesting thing is that he's got the 1 merchant in the sideboard. So his initial version is with like you said, kind of the fairly standard, just pure Sylvan's monsters setup, and then in the sideboard, he looks like he can kind of take it either way. He's got one merchant to go in that more defensive route if you play against decks where you can do that, and then he's got one mirror wall and one wall of D to kind of go with more of a mid-rangey type feel.
And I'll give another comment here. Having played against Sylvan so much, they kind of made Super Rush Headlong a lot less good because their monsters have 4 different attributes, and the mushroom kind of forces you to activate it early, and you don't know which one to pick. I think I typically gravitate towards Earth or Fire because those are the big guys, but then they play the carrot, and that kills my 1800s, and he's dark, so they make that card a lot less good.
It's interesting the way the meta kind of balances out and stuff like that, because obviously Super Rush is one of the better cards against Sea Stealth Attack. So it's like how do those decks kind of balance each other out? And we're going to talk a little bit about the KC Cup to see how they're balancing each other out. But it's interesting that they kind of pull you in different directions with your tech cards.
Yeah. And another third place player, Sir Dillweed, is playing balanced Geargias. This is not 8 monsters, it's 9 monsters. 3 attackers, 3 anchors, 3 arsenals, 3 chalices, 3 econs, 3 rebirths, and 3 pulse mines. Very clean list.
Yeah, it has lots of 3-ofs.
No ties, though, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was saying. It's kind of, you get to pick which route you want to take. You would say that this is like more budget to not run ties, but at the same time, he's got, 3 powerful rebirth and 3 forbidden chalice, so it's not exactly like a budget deck. And I don't think that that's the reason why he picked it. I'm pretty sure Sir Dillweed has a lot of those kind of core and cards you'd expect. He's a name we've seen before, so I expect him to put a lot of kind of time and money into the game.
I will say that ties makes you susceptible to masked heroes, because I lost all of a sudden to a masked heroes deck, and I didn't realize I only had 2,000 life, and that's why they bursted me down so fast. I think Drill Dark did piercing, and then the masked hero hit me directly because I had a monster on the board. So
yeah.
Yeah, it's better. It's slower. It's a lot slower without ties.
Yeah. It's also, it's not like a major part of the metagame right now, but it also makes you weaker to, like, kind of burn decks, of course, if you're taking extra damage.
Anything with piercing, too, like Aramage, Bergamot, Dakini, anything that hits really hard with piercing, that kind of sucks, because the Geargias have, like, very low defense.
Yeah.
Cool. And let me see if there's any other interesting decks to talk about. There's another Sylvan's deck here. Another Geargias. This Geargia deck is running the race car. Geargia Accelerator. That's the first one I've seen. Do you know that these guys are just the regular Geargianos, but they're in the machines? Like the ones that are like Mark 1, 2, 3 or whatever?
No.
Like the ones that aren't being played.
Oh, okay.
They're just in the vehicles.
Funny.
Yeah.
Looking through the rest of the top 16, it's interesting that the top 16 is like 4 decks. It's Masked Heroes, it's Sylvans, it's Geargia, and there's 1 Aliens. And 1 okay, never mind. But
Where'd
it's like
Sea Stealth go, man? It's gone.
It is. Yeah, that's interesting. It must presumably be a bad matchup with with one of those other popular decks. So I don't know if it's yeah, I don't know if it's Geargia or Masked Heroes. I felt fine against Masked Heroes and bad when I was playing against Geargias, so maybe that's why. Sylvans is still a good matchup, and so is Aliens, but there was only 1 Aliens and not Sylvans did not make up the bulk of it, so maybe that's why.
Oh well, meta shifts so fast here.
Yeah.
So, on that discussion, we're going to talk about the Kaiba Cup. It wraps up on Sunday. I think at night, right? I think we have all of Sunday to play, or sometime.
I believe so.
Yeah. Stage 2 kicked off on Friday, actually. I guess we'll talk about the new meta, yeah. I have played 25 games in Stage 2 so far. And as we mentioned, Stage 1 and Stage 2 are quite different, typically. Stage 2 is typically very refined. You have fewer people playing junk decks in it. Sea Stealth, Flying Fish, and Red Eye Zombie I have not faced so far. I did face... Well, this is like a junk deck, I guess. I faced an Ojama Go deck, and I lost against them. They ran Des Counterblow, and they kept healing with Golden Ladybug. And Ojama Go fills your board up, so I didn't tribute. I had played a no tribute deck, so that was pretty annoying. Sylvans are still the most popular, I would say. I'd say maybe a third of my games were against Sylvans. So I definitely still have Forbidden Chalice. I have a Memory Loss in my deck. Things to counter effects. And those cards are also good against Geargias as well, so you try to counter effects. Like, if you're getting like a specific tech card, I guess it has to work against multiple archetypes to be worth using. So, yeah, Geargias... I haven't faced too many, honestly. I don't know if we're in different buckets in terms of who we face, but I did face one person who didn't know how to play it, I think. So I beat them, and I think I've lost against another one, but the mirrors are decent. The Sylvans are still a bit of my bane. I've lost against Cyber Angels, too. Cyber Angels are in a good place as well, I think.
Yeah. Can't keep Cyber Angels down.
I mean, like, they don't win a ton against me, but they still feel really good. Like, they're always in the game, I think.
Yeah. It's weird. I don't know. It's weird that if you're seeing a lot of Sylvans, Sea Stealth Attack isn't around.
Yeah.
But I haven't, like I said, I haven't played any games, so I can't really contribute too much to why we wouldn't be playing her anymore.
Can we say Sea Stealth is too slow?
Yeah, I mean, it could be. You can get your whale out on turn 1, so it's not necessarily a slow deck. But the problem is with Geargias, you get your whale out on turn 1, and then they make it so that you have to get rid of your whale to protect either the whale and or the... Oh, that's another problem. But, well, let me finish my first thought. So the whale or the...
the trap.
Your Sea Stealth, yeah, or your Yumi or whatever. And so you have to remove your stuff to protect your spells and traps, and then they just attack in for a bunch because they have 3 guys out on the field. The other problem for Sea Stealth decks, the one that snuck up on me and startled me into it, was that the flip to destroy monsters doesn't target. So you can't protect your whale with your whale's ability.
Are you sure it doesn't target?
Yeah. Well, I'm sure that it doesn't, the whale can't counter it. I'm sure of that. And I wasn't sure why, so I went and looked it up, and someone online said it doesn't target.
Oh,
so
that's interesting.
Since no one on the internet ever lies, I'm going to believe that to be true.
It's a bit like the Maneater bug effect, and what's the other one that destroys 2? Nobleman Eater bug or Green Kappa. But you get to pick, if you say yes, so when they flip, you say yes or no. If you say yes, you have to destroy something, 1 or 2 cards.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like optional. After you say yes, like you could do it wrong, and then you have to destroy your own monster sometimes if you're not careful.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah,
and you could use that against them with Sea Stealth, or if there's other decks where you can kind of hide your guys, you can make that happen. But you can't. I don't know exactly how or why it works, but you can't. I'm buying the it doesn't target, even though it's seems to target just because you're picking things, and that seems like putting a target on them, but I guess within the game's terminology, it doesn't count as targeting.
So you think it works against Hazy?
I do, because otherwise I don't know why it doesn't work against Sea Stealth.
Yeah, I think it doesn't work against Hazy. It's either that or I gave up and I didn't try it.
One of the two.
Because I know I lost against the Hazy, and I was just like, oh, this guy's immune to card effects. I'll target the other guy. I didn't even try it yet. Okay. Well, we've done good research here.
Yes, yeah.
The flying fish, I'm trying to think about why that's gone. I guess Ultimate Providence is everywhere. I think Geargias do fall victim to that against Sylvans, and that would be a good counter against flying fish as well.
And that would also hit Sea Stealth, so I don't know, maybe it all's kind of coming together.
Yeah. Red Eye Zombie, I'm not sure, but I think people are just kind of playing new decks, and
yeah, Red Eye Zombie's been around forever, and so people are just tired of it at this point.
It's played its lifetime like 2 or 3 times over. I feel like it's just been the longest running deck. It's been good enough, yeah. All right. Casey Cup Celebration sale. This is, they said it was an awesome deal, and I was like, okay, let's see how awesome this is. And it's actually 99 cents for 3 packs and a guaranteed UR, so it's definitely an awesome deal. It's pretty good for those mini boxes, because you get a 50-50 if, like, you want a certain card, or if you want both of them. That's 100%, 2 cards.
Yeah. I mean, it's, of course, as we all know, because we've done this a couple times now, they don't pull from the box, so you can't like ensure that you get what you want, but 50-50 is really solid for trying.
Yeah, with that knowledge, I did not buy any of the mini boxes. I bought let's see, Valiant Souls. I got a second Dark World Dealing, so I have 2 now. What else did I get? What's the other box? The water box. So I got the Gishki chain I mentioned. And then I also pulled from the fire set. And I got Volcanic Doomfire, which I don't really want. I kind of tried to get the Dark World Monsters. I think there's Snow and Dark World Lightning, which were the 2 targets I had. But I got a Volcanic Doomfire instead. So, yeah.
So you get you can do it for every box, right? Or
every
for each
box, yes. That's true.
Nice.
You could play that Insect Queen thing, because you get 50-50 on her.
Yeah, I think I will, because I want another one of her.
Yeah. It's either that or you get an Armored Bee.
Yeah. That's a harsh 50-50 right there.
Yeah. In the Sylvan's box, that is the Sylvan's box. Man, my memory's so bad, I don't remember the one before it.
That was Snipe Hunter box?
It was Resonance of Contrast?
Well,
or was it another one?
Just pull it up.
Yeah, it was Snipe Hunter box. So Snipe Hunter is the 50-50.
Yeah, that's pretty solid.
Yeah. I think the other card was bad, though, so I don't know.
It's how it always goes.
Snipe Hunter is seeing some play in Sylvans, though, because they like discarding things, too.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Duel-a-Thon is back. It's been redesigned, so there's like a visual redesign of it. It looks a little cooler, but also functionally, they give more points now. You give 30 and 20 points for wins and losses against standard duelists, and you also get friend bonuses as well.
Yeah, it works fine. The way that I play the game is I just do some auto duels, even when I'm not really playing the game super hard, as I wasn't the last couple days. I can still auto duel a couple times per day, and usually 2 full sets of auto duels clears the day's worth of Duel-a-Thon. So it's nice, I guess, to get a little bonus from your friends. I don't think it's necessary, but it maybe is for, people who don't play as much as I do. So all in all, seems like a nice change.
It's a good reason to have friends too. So in the game, it's a reason to have them.
Right, yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It's one of the few reasons.
They're getting the Intrigue Shield, which we went over last week. They're not from the card trader, as I had guessed. The card flipper campaign is going on as well. Can't complain. They're giving out free stuff for. We complained last week about the gem economy, and they kind of did a lot this week. I think in the Kaiba Cup, kind of getting us gems in different ways. So it's great that they're doing it, and that wacky alchemy is coming from this campaign. So
yeah.
Double gate keys in gold. This isn't much, except for newer players who want to buy stuff from the trader and they don't have resources. But it's not a big deal anymore because we can get rid of our keys faster, so we don't mind the double.
Yeah, it's funny you say it like that. We don't mind the double, so it's not a bad thing for us like this campaign used to be. But it's also, I mean, like you said, it's not a great thing because we don't need. I haven't needed gold. I don't know, for at least a year now, right? Like,
yeah.
And keys, I don't know. I think farming Kaiba was, I only once ever needed keys. So again, that's been over a year because it's been a long time. So it's all right.
Farming Kaiba, man, that used to be so difficult.
Takes you back.
And now you just get econs from auto-dueling him. It's crazy. Like, they changed the rates of the appearances of the cards.
Yeah.
Oh, well. We have some Marik leaks. So, after the Kaiba Cup, there is going to be an event. It's not the Battle City event, I think. It's the Marik Returns in mid-April event, which should be in a few days. And we got 2 new things coming from this leak. There's a new duel skill. The name's not official, but what it does is it combines the attack and defense of all your tributed monsters into your Winged Dragon of Ra. So, this looks like a new farming skill to me.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, you have to use Winged Dragon of Ra, so we've seen very few PvP decks that do that. So farming seems likely.
Yeah, you got the Ra's Disciple, which comes out in 3s, I think. They all come out at once.
Yeah, they pull each other out, yeah.
You survive a turn, and then you play Winged Dragon of Ra, and that will double their stats. So, estimating, that's like 12,000 right there. Because I think they're each 1,000. And yeah.
Sorry, go ahead and finish that thought.
Oh, let's just say play Vassal and attack.
Yeah, so I'm thinking that does sound like good for a farming finish and stuff. I'm wondering if it also works for, like, you can, what's the phrasing of Winged Dragon of Ra? Is it a normal summon that takes 3 tributes? Or how does that, because like, yeah, you can also just do it all in one turn. You do like a double summon or something.
Yeah, so this card cannot be special summoned. Requires 3 tributes to normal summon. This card's normal summon cannot be negated. When it's normal summoned, all other cards and effects cannot be activated. Yeah, so it's just a regular summon, I think. Yeah, double summon works.
So you can, double summon, or the better version, whatever it's called. The one with the sexy pillow fight on it?
Arrival Rivals.
Yes, yeah. Arrival Rivals. So you can, like, play your 3 Ra's, or Ra's Disciples, and tie the... Nope, you can't tie the bind them because you're using the skill.
Photon Booster.
Photon Booster, there you go. Attack in, and then Arrival Rivals, attack in again for huge. It sounds very, like, memey and kind of fun, but probably not particularly good for ranked.
It will piss you off a lot, though, when you lose to them.
Yes.
What's that meme deck that you faced? Didn't you face a meme deck on Scream? I forget what it was. It was, they ran like 3 black pendants.
Yes, yeah. Oh, I don't
what that
remember
was.
what happened.
It was crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, I faced some weird things, and I lost to something I was not expecting at all.
Yeah, I don't
And
remember
I'm
what the
a
deck
really
was.
good storyteller, so I can't. So that's all I've got for you.
You wiped it from your memory.
Yeah,
Oh
I'm
well.
pretty sure the VOD's up. I clicked that button that I think does that to do
Yeah.
it automatically. So, you can check that out.
All right, we're gonna go to the dual school now, Geargias. Um, so I guess this is an introduction to Geargias. If you've never played the deck, you've only faced it, or if you've never seen it before. Basically, we kind of did predict it being really good. When we were reviewing the cards, it seemed like they swarmed a lot, but we didn't exactly know, how the deck was gonna look like. So I think the deck always has the same core monsters. With You need two Geargia attackers for sure. They're the ones riding on the plane. They're the ones that control back row spells and traps, and even field spells too. So you need three anchors, and the anchors are probably the best monster because in our meta, it's more important to destroy monsters than traps. So you need three of those, and those are only a rare, so that's good. And you also need Geargia Arsenal because that is a tutor. So you could tutor out either the attacker or the anchor, depending on the situation on the board, or you keep it in attack mode on the field. And some core cards, Pulse Mines is a 3 of for sure, I think. You need Ties of the Brethren as well. Some of them run it. It's kind of hard to say because we did see Sir Dillweed have 0 on purpose, I think. But everyone's going to run as many as they have, I think. That's what it's going to be. So it's like where you are on the whale chart, like how many you run.
Yeah, I saw a little bit of discussion about it in the Duel Links meta Discord, actually.
It does
And
brick, though. That is the problem with it.
right, yeah, I think it's like your decision as to how bursty versus bricky you want your deck to be, which tends to be a fairly common delineation. Like it seems like a lot of deck decisions for decks like this do end up being that distinction of like, do you want it to burst or do you want it to avoid bricking?
Right. And how it works is you have to have 3 monsters with different names in your deck. So let's say you have the Arsenal out, and then you summon your attacker and your anchor as well. And in that type of play, you would flip your monsters into face down. Whether to flip your monsters into face down or face up, you always lead with an attack mode monster, and you keep them face up because typically you will have pulse mines, and pulse mines will not activate if your monster is face down. So there's kind of no hiding that you're playing Geargias. Like there's no way to really conceal it. You won't set your monster on your first turn. You're always going to be in attack mode. And I guess when you have 2 of them out, that's when you would think about flipping one of them face down. Let's say they have a face down magic card or trap card, and then you flip your attacker into face down defense. I don't know if the opponent doesn't know what they're doing, or they want. I think they're afraid of Mirror Wall and Wall of D and Super Rush Headlong, so that's why they kind of hit the face down monster all the time. And the attacker always has 100 defense, so you're going to destroy it. But then you take advantage of the flip effect to destroy their spells and traps. So that's kind of what you would do. Same thing with the anchor. You would flip into defense mode if they have extra monsters on the board. Powerful Rebirth is a very important card as well. Sometimes you can't protect your monsters, so you let them get hit, and then you bring it back, and then you could abuse its ability next turn. There's one thing that I messed up though. Powerful Rebirth makes them a 5-star monster, and you have to flip them over again, or else you can't use Ties of the Brethren because that only works for 4 stars and lower.
Huh.
So
Yeah,
I did lose a game. I lost the game. Yeah. So flip them over because then they go back to their normal stats of 4-star, 1800 or 1900. So flip them back, and then use ties. So don't mess up like that. What else? Other protection cards. Curse of Anubis is very common in the deck. Econs. Econs, I wouldn't say you run 3 of anymore, because it's just to keep Cyber Angels honest, I think, in the meta. And anyway, you could steal a monster and go for lethal. That's when it's good. But I wouldn't say it's the most important card in the deck, because you have Pulse Mines.
Yeah. That kind of reminds me of a little tip that I got for facing against them from the Duel Links meta Discord. If they play their guy and then they try to Brethren's it, you can steal it. I'm not sure. I haven't done it yet, so I haven't tried if you have to steal it like before they play Brethren, which obviously works, or if you can steal it once they've played Brethren, because the way that the Brethren's worded is a little bit weird, and it might work that way as well to make Brethren fizzle, which would just be like really good. Have you come up against that yet?
I have not.
Okay.
Well, I only have one, so I don't like. I hardly play it, and then yeah, so.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Well, that's a tip for the listeners. It's almost a tip, I guess. Some advice to try one of 2 ways to possibly work against the deck.
Yeah. You reminded me of something, and then I just forgot it right now. It's very important too.
Oh, good lord!
Oh,
all right. Well,
this is the point. This is the point right here. They're very good going first. that's a very. They have huge splits. Certain decks you would say you like going second because you could react to the back row and control it or whatever. And you get to attack first, of course. But being that they have to stay on the board, they abuse their abilities an extra turn basically. And there's so many ways to protect them. If you're going second, you're going to fall victim to Sylvans flipping up their monster. But if you're going first, you've got that anchor there first turn, and then they put their face down, and then you get to take advantage of that with your monsters, your abilities. So there are huge splits here. Yep. All right. That's all we have to say about Geargias now. Ready to play this game?
Yeah. All right. So you guys know how it works, but we'll explain the rules anyway. We have a little bit of a short show this week, so we're back to playing ALAD, which stands for, what's that? Attack, level,
attribute.
Attribute, level, attack, and defense, right?
Yeah, it's kind of how they show up in the card, so like top to bottom, sort of. And this is the Battle City edition.
Ooh, baby.
Did you watch any of these episodes?
I don't think I've watched too many of them, so this is going to be a fun experiment in me sounding like an idiot.
I think I made it easier, though. I made it a little easier, with monsters that are somewhat relevant.
Okay, well, that's nice.
Alright, let's start with everyone's favorite. The Dark Magician Girl.
Okay, well, she's dark, and she is 6 stars, and man, all the weebs are gonna kill me. Like 2216.
So you got the attack. I mean, you got the attribute and stars right. I actually thought she was 5, but she's 6. 1700.
Oh yeah, that was off by a fair amount.
Yeah.
All right, what's next?
Vorse Raider.
Vorse Raider?
Yep.
That's Kaiba's card, right?
Yep.
That guy's a 4-star Earth, 1900, and like 1100.
Okay, I'll give you half.
Okay.
It's the defense is off by 100. It's 1200, but it's a dark attribute.
Oh, really?
Because he's evil. Okay. He's completely evil.
Okay, sure. He looks evil, I guess.
Big Shield Gardener.
Big Shield Gardner. That is 4-star Earth. I think 100, 2600.
Yep. There you go.
Hey, that one I've actually played, so that makes.
You see what I mean? I made it easier, right? This time.
Yes, yeah. These are all cards that I've definitely seen. I just haven't really played. I don't think I've ever. Well, do we even have War Strider? That's one he only uses.
We just got it. We just got it in a set. It was kind of obsolete by the time we got it, I think.
Yeah. So I never really played that, and then I probably played. I know I've played Dark Magician Girl once or twice, but probably not too many times.
Yeah, I have to do it to rank up stage 57. I have to play her 3 times in a game.
We had I think it was back when 3-star was the original 3-star. There was a version for Dark Magician that also ran Dark Magician Girl to cheat him out and alternative stuff. So I played a tiny bit of it. Anyway, back to the action.
Jinzo.
It's a psychic. Those tend to be one of a few types.
Well, they made this card before there were psychics.
Oh, is it not a psychic?
Yeah, it's a machine. But that's not part of this game. Type doesn't matter in this game, so we don't care.
Yeah, well, that's good, because I guess I don't know that either. I think it's a 6-star. I know it's 1 tribute, but I think it's 6 stars. And he looks kind of evil. I'm not sure if he's dark or earth. I'm gonna go with earth. And I think he's 2400 and 1600.
So he's dark.
Damn it.
And 2415.
Alright, that's no dice.
Nope. Gamma the Magnet Warrior.
I have no idea which Magnet Warrior is which. So,
it's the pink one.
The pink one?
Yeah.
Well, they're all of them are 4 stars, 4-star Earth. Well, actually, I don't know about that, but all the ones that I'm thinking of are that. Like I said, I don't know which one's which. So the 1700, 1200?
1518.
Damn.
It's high defense monster.
Yeah.
The Fiend Mega Cyber.
Fiend Mega Cyber. Oh, that's a 6-star. Pretty sure it's dark. 2200 attack for sure. And the defense is weak, like 1100 or something.
I'll give you half, 1200. Almost. You got 75% of it.
Yeah, because I've played that card a fair amount.
It's like a core farming card, yeah.
Yeah, and for a while it was good enough to see PvP play. I played it for a good bit.
We're getting into the slightly harder ones. There's 4 more left.
Okay, well, I didn't do well at the easier ones, so this will be exciting.
Obelisk the Tormentor.
Obelisk the Tormentor. So the gods are like 12 stars or something. I assume he's dark. And I have literally no idea what his stats are. 3,000.
He's the only one who has stats, and not
that's what I was kind of thinking, because I remember question marks in at least one of them, but I'm thinking well, I said 3,000, but I don't think that's enough because he's a god. So maybe 4,000 and 2,500.
No, I can't give you this at all. It's they're 10 stars. They're an attribute called Divine.
Oh yeah.
And 4,000.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good. It's nice that he's beefy on both sides.
Yeah. Rocket Warrior.
I
Do you know
don't.
what this is?
I don't even know that guy. Is that the green guy whose head
Yeah,
splits open?
yeah.
Okay. Um. Hmm. Man, I don't even. 4 stars. Green. I mean, he kind of looks earthy, but he's green, so he also kind of looks windy. I'm gonna go with wind, just to kind of shake things up a bit. And like I don't know if I've ever seen that card in play. I don't. 17 and 12.
15, 13, and it's a light.
Oh, yeah, man. I don't.
Yeah, that's tricky.
I hope everyone is screaming at their phones right now.
Are these two are kind of difficult.
You keep saying that, man.
Yeah. This one you've seen a lot though.
Okay.
Parasite.
It's 2 stars. And I think it's a 300, 200. And I think it's Earth.
You got that part. You missed the attack and defense, which doesn't really matter because it's
right. Yeah.
When does it attack? It's 500, 300.
Oh, he's a beefy little bug.
I'll give you a half though, because I didn't know it was 2 stars.
Otherwise, it would be pathetic. Yeah,
I didn't know it was 2 stars.
I've seen it pop up, because obviously it comes up on the board once it kind of comes up. So I've seen it show up. I know it's a 2-star, but I never attack with it, so I didn't know that part.
Yeah. And the last card is actually a card I played, way back when.
Okay.
The Puppet Master.
Puppet Master.
So when Dark Necrosphere first came out, I tried to play it in the deck. I remember this.
Yeah, I kind of remember that too. I don't remember what it is at all. I can actually kind of picture the art.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's a tribute monster. I kind of remember that. So let's say 6-star. I remember it had weird stats. 0 was part of it.
Okay, you're onto something here.
I'm onto something. Like a... Well, people are waiting. So let's just say 2200 and 0.
That's 0, actually.
Oh. Yeah.
Do you know what attribute it is? I'll give you half, you get the attribute.
Oh. I assumed it's dark.
Yep, there you go.
Is it not? Okay. And it was you bring stuff back from the graveyard and then it gains their stats or something? Is that how it works?
No. You just pay 2,000 life points and you bring 2 things back from the graveyard. So you have 3 monsters on the board.
Oh, and the downside is just that you've killed yourself?
Yeah, you're paying 2,000 to play a 0 attack, 0 defense.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay.
So you got 3.
Well, that went very poorly.
Yeah, you got 3. That
I got
shows
3
that
points?
Yeah, 3 out of 10.
Okay. I'm cool.
That shows that your watching the show did help a little bit, and
in the first time we did this?
Yeah, the first time.
Yeah.
It's possible we never do this again regarding monsters in the show, and we have to use monsters only in Duel Links in the future.
I think that might be a good move if we want me to get points.
Yeah.
But if we want me to just be a fool, then this is working out fine.
Because I can't use GX on you either, because you haven't watched that show.
Oh, yeah, that won't work at all. I haven't seen that even a little bit.
And no one plays Elemental Heroes, so...
Yeah.
Well, the Cyber Angels are in it, so I guess you could do some of that, and various other monsters they use in GX.
I think the ones that are in the actual game, even if they're like cards we don't play very much, those are the ones that have the best chance. That I have the best chance on.
Yeah. Oh well. So that wraps up the second edition of this game. It may show
I'm
up
sorry
again.
to everyone for having to sit through that, and for sucking at it.
Alright. So, quick reminders. Crowler is at the gate mid-April. Yami returns with those leaked things mid-April as well. Battle City event late April. Level cap increase late April. Elegant Mai early May. And also a Duel-a-Thon and new Legendary Duelist in May again.
Maybe after the event I will know what the cards are and stuff.
Oh, after Battle City.
Yeah, after the Battle City event.
Yeah, it could have gone tricky on you. I could have used the Shizu's monsters, which you probably have no idea. Those monsters.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yep. Alright. That's it for us today. Thanks for listening. You can listen and subscribe on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play Music, Overcast, and YouTube. Check out the podcast and more at our website, theduelassessment.wordpress.com. Find us on Patreon. To help support us, patreon.com/duel_assessment. Send us an email with any questions at theduelassessment@gmail.com. Or you find us on Twitter, duel_assessment. Me at Green Ranger, HS DeckTech at HS DeckTech.
That's right. Thanks for listening, guys.
See you.